What's up, IndyCar fans? David Land here, bringing you a Diecast review of the always anticipated Indy 500 winning car. This year, of course, winning the 101st Indianapolis 500 was Japan's Takuma Sato, driving the Andretti Autosport Ruoff Mortgage Honda, car number 26. Of course, he won it in a fantastic duel with Helio Castroneves for the last 10 laps of the race. Also, Max Chilton and Ed Jones were up in the mix. One of the best last 20 laps of the 500 maybe that has ever been put on in terms of entertainment-wise. And, of course, Sato, the very brave, no attack, no chance driver, finally got to victory lane after coming so close in 2012 on the final lap, making a very daring move on Dario Franchitti, which ultimately would be unsuccessful, but it paid dividends later on down the line when rather than pass to the inside on Helio Castroneves, he passed to the outside going into turn one, and of course that was the race-winning move. This diecast is special, however. This is, as I hit the mic, which is going to make all sorts of weird sounds, this is an IMS exclusive 1 of 500 figure edition. Now, we didn't actually know that this diecast was coming out because there was so much hype, as there was in real life, so it's kind of ironic for this figure version, the Fernando Alonso figure version. The car is exactly the same. At some point, I may do a more detailed video on this figure here. This is an edition 1 of 510, but again, the car is exactly the same as the one I've already reviewed, and eventually we will take a look at this figure, but that is for another day. That's ironic. Just give you a little preview of that. So here's the box. Of course, this is the slip cover that comes around the box. Of course, Sato crossing the line there. There's Takuma on the day after photo with the 101st running logo on the back. And, of course, Sato, again, on the day after with the Borg Warner trophy. And, again, the same thing on the side of the box. Flip it over, and it's always upside down when I do that. The normal legalese there. And then when you undo the slip cover and get it in front of the light so nobody can see anything, you can see a nice little Photoshop deal of Sato crossing the line, drinking the milk, and then a nice little bio of the entire month of May. And then, of course, you've got the 500 logo with some nice clouds. Very nice. I actually quite like this packaging. It's very happy. And Sato is a very happy man, so it kind of works. It's just the clouds. It's very calming. It's a very, very nice looking box. I like their design this year. It's maybe not as good as the Rossi last year, even though my friend Kevin says it's exactly the same design. It's very close, I will say that. But a little consistency is never a bad thing. As I keep hitting the mic, I'm so sorry. That's probably making horrible noises. And there is the figure in the box. So let's get this bad boy out and take a closer look at Takuma Sato's 101st Indy 500 winning machine. All right, here we are, Takuma Sato's 2017 Indy 500 winner out of its box. Of course, the big draw of this set and why you pay $75 and have it shipped from IMS, or in my case, get really lucky and be in Indianapolis when it was released, is because of this figure that comes with it. And I have to say, I have owned all but one of the Greenlight figure editions. The only one I don't have is Tony Kanaan's 2013 winner, and I think this is probably the best figure they have done in this style. Now, I had some people mention to me on social media that they would have preferred to have this figure actually in the car rather than freestanding. That's an interesting idea and something that they used to do for all the Greenlight IndyCar diecast. I'm not sure why they don't do it anymore. I think they've mentioned that it's a cost thing. But then again, they do. Clearly, it's not a cost. Cost is no issue when it involves the Indy 500 winner Fernando Alonso. We're going to try to get you the look at the arms here without focusing in too much on the car here. Just a ton of detail on the arms. That's some tough stuff to print right there. I'm not even sure how they did that. I guess they put the helmet on separately. Some really great detail as well on the helmet. It looks, I mean, this is Takuma Sato's helmet. Of course, he's worn this in F1, Super Formula, a few of the other series that he has been in. Yeah, just a really nice looking figure. This is the pose that he made as soon as he stood out of the car, so I think somehow you can probably get him in there. I'm not going to try too hard. But yeah, this is the pose he made when he was standing out of the car. Of course, he had his helmet off. For whatever reason, in recent years, Greenlight has not done the figures without their helmets on. I think it's because we kind of roasted them a little bit too hard, made fun of the head sculpts they were using. And they decided that they're just going to put the helmets on. So whatever. It's a bit of a compromise, but as long as the helmets are well done, I don't have a problem with it. So let's take a closer look at the diecast by itself. And I have to say, this is one of maybe the most detailed Indy 500 winners we have gotten in recent years in quite some time. It's got pretty much every single logo that adorned this car when it won the Indianapolis 500. It's not a raced version. It's definitely a race morning version without all the grime and dirt on it. But to me, I like that better anyway, even though race versions can be quite interesting to look at. I prefer to kind of have the car look museum quality, and this one certainly does. This is a real home run, I would say. I think they did a really good job with this one. Obviously, we finally got a correct aero kit, correct sponsor logos, pretty much correct everything, except for the number font. Apparently the number font is the right font, but they stroked it with black when they should have stroked it with white. If you know what a stroke is in page design, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, just Google it. But yeah, Ruhoff Home Mortgage, the sponsor of this car, kind of helped continue an Andretti Autosport tradition of being a sponsor coming on not only late to the car, meaning the week before the race, not even what the Ruhoff Home Mortgage was not even on the car during the qualifying weekend, and then going out and winning the race, very in similar fashion to what Napa was able to do with Alexander Rossi for the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. Very much the same thing with Takuma Sato and Ruhoff Home Mortgage. Now, there's a lot of detail on this car that we're going to want to go over. Of course, this car started the month where the green is on the car. It was red. Of course, Ruhoff Home Mortgage's color scheme is blue and green. So that's kind of why you got the green rather than the red. It would have been interesting if their color scheme had been different than the blue, because then we would have gotten a different looking car than what, or a completely different looking car than what had tested and qualified the entire month. You get a little bit of Dayglow green on the suspension pieces. I love when they do this. They did it with the Montoya as well in 2015. It's details like that I really love. And there's the stroke. You can see a black stroke. If that was white, it would be perfect, around the number. If that was white and it just made the number more bold, it would be perfect, but whatever. Then you've got the Viceroy stripe here, obviously a big design element of the Andretti IndyCar designs these days. And then you've got a little more Dayglow on the green mirrors. Obviously, you got some lime green and some darker Ruhoff green. Again, on the camera pod. I don't remember if Takuma ran an onboard camera in this race. I don't think he did. I remember a lot of onboard footage around Takuma of a lot of the moves he made late in the race, but I think they were on board with Elio for most of the time. And then, of course, you've got Ruhoff Home Mortgage on the back, DMG Morai, Bassif, and Sherwin-Williams, of course, Ruhoff and Panasonic. Panasonic, obviously a big supporter of Japanese racing drivers, particularly the ones that come to Indianapolis. You've got Butterball in there. You've also got a tribute to Nicky Hayden, the American MotoGP champion who was killed on a bike, a pedal bike, not a racing bike, in the month of May. When that was very tragic. With You Japan for the tsunami that happened in 2011. That's Takuma's big charity. And then you've got a few more logos, and this is where we start to get into some of the really cool details. You've got the qualification sticker. Now, this is a tradition for the Indianapolis 500. When a car is registered and it qualifies, or when it passes tech inspection to qualify for the 500, they slap one of those stickers on. And this is the first time, I think, ever, I think even talking about the Carousel 1 cars that were done, or the replicas as well, I think this is the first time we've ever gotten a qualifying sticker on the car. So that's very cool. That is a new detail and very nice to see. Of course, on the number plate, you've got number 1 because, of course, he won the race, Takuma Sato, in the font that is actually reminiscent of the font they used for the drivers at Newman Haas Racing. And then you've got Honda and Panasonic on the engine cover with the big old dorsal fin, and then ELS, whatever that is. Of course, you've got the number again, black where it should be white. It should be all white. There should be no black on that number, but whatever. The Indy 500 tires, which of course are asymmetrical, meaning this little Firestone logo is red on the other side. Then Ruhoff on both the side pod and the sponsor blocker, which is gone for next year, thank God. And then you've got a little tribute, and this is another really cool part, just as cool as the Nicky Hayden thing. You've got a tribute sticker thinking of Sebastian Bourdais, of course, who is injured in that absolutely horrendous crash on the first day of qualifying. And that's a really cool thing to see. And also, hey, Greenlight, they finally got this right on the Andretti Autosport cars. It only took them 5 cars to do, but finally the rabbit ears painted the correct bumper color. You've also got an interesting thing here that says thanks Neil. Don't know what Neil they're referring to, but there you go. Also on the rear, the inside of the rear wing end plate, you've got check it for Andretti, which is of course referring to John Andretti, who just recently was diagnosed with colon cancer and is fighting that as we speak. So obviously, if you haven't gotten your colonoscopy and you're over 50, go get it. So there you go. The bumper has Ruhoff Horn Mortgage and 26. Ironically, the 26 appears to be actually in the correct font on the bumpers. And a little bit of a chip there, but meh. You don't usually look at the bumpers all that much anyway. Also, thank God the bumpers are gone for next year as well. On the other side, you've got, again, the red Firestone Firehawk logo. And again, the nice bumpers there. And nothing else to really go over on the side, except for you've got Formula Dream, or Honda Formula Dream Project, which, again, that is part of Honda's program that helps get Japanese drivers into other series like the IndyCar series. I think they also work in Super GT, GT3, quite a few other initiatives to try to get Japanese drivers on the world stage and racing at high levels. They actually sponsored some cars in the mid to late 2000s for drivers like Hideki Muto in the IndyCar series. So that is the 2017 Indy 500 winner for Takuma Sato, the figure edition. I would definitely say one of the best Indy 500 winners they've done in quite a while. Very happy that they did this one right. I can't complain very much. I would say you should probably go out and get this. Takuma Sato is a very popular driver in his native Japan. I would imagine once word gets out to Japan that these figure versions are available, I think the Japanese race fans are going to start buying these up. So if you want one of them, get it now. Pay American shipping prices, because these are probably going to end up flying off the shelves. Maybe not as quick as the Rossi 100 500 winner, but it's going to be going pretty quick. So you're going to want to get it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy reviews such as this one, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more. This has been David Land on YouTube. I already said that, but we will see you in the next video.